What is going on, everyone? My name is Boit, and I wanted to share with you exactly how I feel after all the excitement from last weekend. First and foremost, the hype behind this game has been real, and I personally think Retold is delivering in a way that previous Age of titles have not been able to. While it's just the beta, and there was definitely issues that need to be cleaned up, it was a successful display of what Retold is going to be, and in my mind, the most important things are all there. In other words, I think AoM is here to stay. So, the good. You can observe games that are going to be played in real time, which means all the information, meta, builds, and strategies are going to be at your fingertips as you can follow your favorite top players through their ranked experience without bothering them about it anymore. For me personally as a caster, this is a huge boost, but more importantly, I just love the idea of being able to just sit there and watch games, learn other people's strategies, and then go and try them out myself. The graphics are, in my humble opinion, gorgeous. I unfortunately didn't get to see them in their full glory with my PC at home and playing on a laptop, but if you checked out some of the other top streamers on Twitch, you could see how far the detail actually goes. I know there's a comment going around that it's a little bit cartoony. I still don't know exactly what that means, but compared with the polygons in the Titans, this just isn't even close. Maybe someone can let me know what they mean in a bit more detail in the comment section below. They also nailed the nostalgia of it, I at least think. Didn't stray too far away from the original designs, and everything added feels like it just boosts the experience immensely. You kill a building and it crumbles. Ships gradually degrade as you kill them, and the myth units have a new coat of paint, which makes them really stand out. The all-important networking that has plagued Age of Mythology for years is, as we expected, amazing. It really is going to be a new age for AoM moving forward. And I'm yet to go back to try the Titans again, but I'm almost certain it's going to be disappointing playing at 300 ping again. Let me know if you want to see some Titans content still, or if it's all retold all the way from now on. I'm not sure whether this is good, bad, or in the middle, but the autocube debate has had a bit of a blow on the weekend, with Retold opting to go with a half measure, only allowing autocue on economic units. I think this is a natural progression forward for modern RTS games and strikes a good balance between the two. Watching some of the die-hard autocue Voobly players slowly coming around to this setting was really cool to see, and watching players from other RTS games praising this feature was surprising to say the very least. I remember when I posed this question to people a while back, it was riots on both sides. I know for certain if this was implemented in the Titans, there would have been riots. What do you guys actually think now that you've tried it out? All the changes to God's unique abilities, text, myth units, population, and everything between has thrown the balance and meta of AoM out the window. That being said, the game is still AoM, fundamentals still apply, and while there are some new fancy toys, you can still get very far with your Titans knowledge of the game. And equally, if you're new to the game, I don't think you're going to be that far behind everyone else, it seems. It's going to be really cool seeing the meta develop and all the arguments that follow about X God being strong, Y God being weak. It's my favorite pastime in Twitch chat, that's for sure. While I'm a big fan of a meta shakeup, one of the things that remains to be seen is how balance patches are going to look moving forward. Are we going to see more of the conservative approach that Voobly balance patch brought, or are we going to see a League of Legends style approach where balance patches basically rotate who is an S tier god around every other month and give reworks to everyone else as well? We'll have to wait and see. Out of curiosity, what do you guys prefer when it comes to balance patch processes? The Navy rework is something I've been asking for literally 4 years now, and it's finally here. And guess what? It is everything I could have hoped for and more. The pullback arrow ship micro is still there, but because you can build all 3 types of ships, you now really need to think about how you engage your opponent. Which ships are attacking which, and whether or not you actually have the right composition before starting to do those extra little micro things. This should make Navy fights much more interesting to play and watch at the same time. Not only that, but now you can go any god in the heroic age and be rewarded with a myth unit on the sea. This means there's no real disadvantages to playing Hades, Ra, Thor, or Gaia on the water anymore. The fishing ships are also nerfed to some degree, with the fishing ship techs moving into the heroic age and mythic age, meaning your food income is going to be a little on the low side if you just fish in the classical age. Also, with hunt being boosted due to no need for hunting dogs, I wouldn't be surprised if giving up the water versus a player who overinvests in it becomes somewhat of a viable strategy. In other words, no more 10-minute Navy fights on Mediterranean. The God Power rework seems to be a great compromise. You have a cooldown and a favor cost to recast the GP. This is great because it actually gives the balance team more control over how good certain God Powers are. If one God Power seems to be getting recast a lot, they can increase the cost. If it doesn't seem to be getting much love, they can reduce the cost. I think this is going to be really fun though. I have already heard people complaining about the big God Powers like Lightning Storm being a little ridiculously overtuned, so still some work there. Alright, enough praise. This was just a beta after all, and there is still plenty of work to do before release. Unit pathing, in particular villages, was difficult to manage to say the very least. I had noticed many moments of players' villages kind of just hanging out on Smoko while the rest of the villagers went ham on a gold mine. This kind of thing should be a priority to fix. No one enjoys babysitting their economy, and while there are some ultra sweat lords who enjoy maximum efficiency gathering like myself, even I don't want to have to deal with this kind of thing. I did hear some complaints about actual unit pathing in fights, so there is probably some work to be done there as well. With balance changes comes chaos. There are some clearly broken things in Retold, which I think when people start getting their abuse on, that is going to be kind of difficult and going to really suck the fun out of the game very, very quickly. I know it's a beta, and to be completely honest, on the surface, the balance doesn't look that bad, but there really are some crazy things in this game, and not all of them are going to be fun to interact with. I'm looking at you, Nemean Lion. The Villager Center is another one of those changes that I really can't say I think is a positive change for Retold. For those who didn't pick up on it, you can now build a lesser town center called the Villager Center anywhere on the map. It's weaker than the normal town center and trains villagers slower, but I've said this many times when people ask me, what would happen if we get rid of the settlement system in Age Mythology? Well, Egyptians will just sit in their base, get their boom on, and your opponent will just have to sit there while the free towers and town centers shoot down any aggression coming their way. I feel like a nice compromise would be that you can build a villager center if you have 0 town centers left, or even just limit to 1. Time will tell though. Recorded games aren't readily available like on Voobly and Age of Empires 4. In these platforms, I can just go into a player's profile and watch their games. This is something that is obviously important to me, but I also think that players learning games need access to this sort of stuff because it's the best way to get better at a game, comparing your recorded games to the pros. This one's a short one. The user interface is not changeable. Why? This wasn't all bad, but the campaign misses the nostalgia with the changed voice dialogues. I played the campaign too many times to count, and I just know how the dialogues go, and unfortunately the direction and delivery of this just didn't hit for me at all. I get why they went this way, but sometimes accuracy loses to nostalgia. I really hope we get the option to turn on the old voice dialogues and play through the campaign with Ajax being a Chad again. I did really like the level redesign and the significant ramp up in difficulty. It was actually kind of hard for me to beat, and I was shook when a bunch of silver colossi popped out and tore my freshly built fortress down. Alright, that's all I've got. Overall, I think in terms of all the betas I've ever played, this one ranks up there for sure. I can't wait for release and also all the crazy shenanigans we're going to be able to get involved with. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next game.